welcome to my channel. I'm G Sleeve Louise, and today I'm going to be talking about the day I went for my vertical sleeve gastrectomy on the 8th of February 2018. I know that before I went for surgery, all I was doing was looking at YouTube videos of people going in for surgery just to see them come out the other side, you know, well and fine. So because this video is going to be a bit of a long one, I've actually left some timestamps in the description, separating the video into pieces. So if you want to get straight to that part, you can.
Good morning or afternoon or evening or whatever time it is there. It is quarter to two today, and I've got about 17 hours to go till I get sleeved. To say I'm nervous is a bit of an understatement. Every time I think about packing my bags or people saying, what time do you want me to see you, or thinking about my injection tonight, I feel like I'm gonna throw up and I struggle to drink my milk. I'm just walking around the house right now as I'm talking because, like, I'm pretty nervous. It's a really creepy thought that I've only got one more sleep to go till surgery. It's not like I'm gonna sleep anyway. I can't imagine getting any more than like an hour. But no need to stress. I'm just gonna be getting put to sleep there anyway. So that's me. I'm gonna head off for now. You're definitely gonna be hearing from me throughout the day, especially either before or during my injection. Who knows? We'll see how the day goes. But yeah. Thanks so much for the encouragement so far, it's really helped.
If you'd already watched my previous video, you'd know that I was originally supposed to have the 17th of January, but because of the winter bed crisis, it actually got cancelled the night before, and this resulted in me having to do the pre-op diet all over again for another 2 weeks. Well, the evening before my second surgery date, I actually got another call.
Hi guys, the house phone rang. My mum said to ignore it because it's probably cold calls. I was about to, but then I remembered no one really calls the house phone anymore, apart from the hospital, so I answered it. Is this Louise? Yes. Oh God. She said, just letting you know, we're having an issue with beds. I was like, are you saying it's cancelled again? She said, I'm not saying it is cancelled, I'm saying it could be.
Now, a couple of weeks prior to surgery, you have to go and collect your medication. This is medication that you have to take on the evening before surgery and the morning of surgery.
Okay, so having a look at my medication, this one is the ranitidine or something like that. And basically you get 2 little tablets, one to take the night before, then the morning of surgery. And basically what this does is helps to prevent acid reflux. So it controls the acid in your stomach to stop that from happening. Then we have metoclopramide, and they're the exact same as the other ones. Take one at 6 p.m. evening before, and then one 6 a.m. the morning before. And what this basically does is helps you stop feeling so sick and nauseous and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely want to be taking these tablets. And last but not least, we have the injection, which is tinzaparin, 0.45 millilitres, I think that is. That is for the evening before, 6 p.m. on the evening. And when you look at it, it just looks absolutely terrifying.
So I asked the nurse whether or not she wanted me to actually take this, because I remember when she called me, it was about an hour before my blood thinning injection was due. She said, yeah, that she still wanted me to take it, so that gave me a little bit more hope.
So basically it's carry on with a liquid diet, still take your injections, but don't come into the hospital at 7, wait for us to call you. So that's where it's left me. Fingers crossed. Okay, I've got like half an hour till I've got to take my injection. I don't even want to take it now. I don't even want to take it knowing that I might not even be having surgery tomorrow. I just think when you're getting a major surgery, you want it to run as smoothly as possible. And nothing about this journey so far has been smooth.
Oh, taking the injection was so scary. I've never had to inject myself before, thankfully, so it was something that was completely new to me. I ended up having to get my mum just to, you know, make sure I was doing everything correctly and film it, of course. Okay, here goes. What the fuck is this? What's that?
Press down on the plunger with your finger.
Yeah, but what's this orange bit?
Yeah, you got to press it down.
What? Press the orange? No, that's what you press down. That's the plunger. The fuck is that orange bit?
I ain't got a clue.
Do I just leave it? Oh. So I just let that flap?
Yeah, let that flap. Yeah, so press down. Right, so you got it at a 90-degree angle. Right, so pinch your skin. That's it. Right.
Oh, fucking.
90-degree angle. Insert the full length of the needle into the polar skin.
Oh, jeez, that's a long needle.
Right.
3,
2,
2,
1, go. Sit all the way in and then plunge it. That's it.
3.
Remove the needle by pulling it straight out. That's it. Check your sleeve will automatically cover the needle.
That's what the fluffy bit's for.
Fold your skin. Right, let go.
Oh.
To avoid bruising, do not rub the injection site.
Yay! I did it. So after that was done, it was time to go to sleep, and I just didn't know what to think. It was definitely a mixture of nerves, worry, and uncertainty, because I didn't know whether I was going to get a call in the morning saying to, you know, come in or not. So I didn't know how to feel.
Hey everyone, I'm in bed. Surprisingly, I'm yawning away. It's 10 to 12 and I've got to wake up at like 10 to 6, so I've still got a while yet. I hope I sleep. Still mixed feelings about whether to feel anxious or annoyed or excited. I'm not sure. I think I'm 60% sure that my surgery will go ahead tomorrow. All I can do is just get a good night's sleep and pray that I am going in tomorrow for my surgery. Before I get some shut eye, just want to say thank you so much yet again to everyone for all your kind words, shout outs, support. You're all amazing and it means the world.
Believe it or not, I actually managed to get some sleep that night. I got woken up by the nurse in the morning who said, you know, it's fine, there's a bed here. Can you please come in as soon as possible so you can be either first or second of the day? So with that, I shut up, I got dressed, I quickly informed my lovely followers on Instagram. And at this point, I was rushing about so much, I just didn't have a chance to be nervous.
Good morning, guys. I got the call at 7, dead on, and as you can see, I'm dressed. She's told me to come in at 8 as it's very, very likely that I could get the op today. She said depending on when I come in, I will get the op either first of the day or second of the day. So since I can't have water, I better hurry up and get there.
It wasn't until I got in the car that, you know, the nerves started to really kick in. It's because I stopped for a moment. I stopped and thought about what was happening, and I just remember wishing that the journey from my house to the hospital wasn't so quick. It only takes 10 minutes to get there. And I was thinking, God, I'm going to be there in a minute. Can't time just slow down for a second? Even though I'd wanted it for so long, when the day actually came, I just wanted time to slow down a bit. I was feeling so nervous. I remember just clutching onto my mum's cross that she gave me and my lucky coin for dear life, and just, you know, praying that everything was going to be all right. So I arrived at the hospital and went to the surgical block.
I'm here. I'm in the waiting room. I'm in the toilet now, but when I go back, I'm in the waiting room until they call me. I think it's definitely happening. I'm shaking.
And I just remember the waiting room being so unbearably hot. Then again, looking around, everyone seemed to be in their jackets, so it was probably just me and my nerves. I spotted a fan, I plugged it in, took my jacket off, and I just sat in front of it like, okay, yeah, just calm down. It helped with my anxiety as well. I remember I was getting some pretty weird looks from people, but I just didn't give a shit. It helped. I got called by a lovely nurse. She was really funny. She was a bit nuts, but she was really nice. And that was basically to put my hospital band on, my stockings for surgery, and also take my bloods before going into theatre. I remember my stockings being so tight. She really struggled to get them on, and she was like, right, put your foot here. And she opened her legs, and I had to put my foot like on the chair, and she was like pulling, and I accidentally kicked her in a lady area. So it was kind of awkward, but it was funny. And yeah, it just made me feel a little less anxious with the laughing and stuff. Well, that was until she couldn't get blood out of me. She tried a few times and said, right, they're just gonna have to do that when you go into theatre. So that made me a bit nervous. Like, I think on a day like that, you just want everything to run as smoothly as possible. So after that was done, I was sent back into the waiting room, sat back with my fan, and I just remember feeling really ill. I just felt poorly from the lack of sleep, the dehydration, and the heat, and the nerves. They were all taking their toll on me, and the waiting was definitely the worst part of the whole day. I can honestly say that. It was really hard. And I just remember saying to my partner, I really don't feel well. I'm so nervous. I was actually so nervous, I ended up going to the toilet like 4 times. Sorry, TMI. But yeah, that's how nervous I was. My name got called again, and this time it was by my surgeon. I went in there, and it was basically just to go through everything, such as how did the liquid diet go, how much did you lose, also to reconfirm what's going to be happening with the surgery, if I still wanted to do it, sign some papers, and just go through my health history really. Once again, sent back into the waiting room, and you know, every time I got sent back into that waiting room, my worry and fear was just getting worse and worse. I kept going through stupid things in my head, like complications after surgery or during surgery, anaesthesia complications, the big lifestyle change that I'm about to go through, just everything really. Am I going to wake up? And you know, you do think things like that, especially if it's your first time going for surgery. I mean, I've only ever had my wisdom teeth taken out. That's not, you know, exactly a serious surgery, but this was something pretty serious, and I was more than aware of what was happening, more than aware of the risks. And I just felt like the longer I was waiting in the waiting room, the more chance I was going to do a runner. I got called for a 3rd time by a different nurse, and this time it was to go into the changing rooms. I remember just putting on my gown and looking in the mirror, and just it felt very real then. We went over some more questions again, but I can't really remember what they were about. I think they were just to reconfirm other things, and this was when I had to get separated from my partner. She said to me, okay, I'm going to take you upstairs now. Don't worry, you're going to be put into another waiting room. You're not going straight for surgery, but unfortunately, your partner can't come with you, and I'm going to have to take your bags and stuff to put them in the locker. and I just looked up at my partner to say goodbye, and he gave me a hug, and I felt my I felt my eyes, you know, welling up, tearing, and oh, I really felt nervous. It was really funny and corny because there was one moment, like the last time I saw him was when I was in the lift and like waving to him as like the doors closed. It was really dramatic, but yeah, I started getting really choked up. But the nurse who was with me, bless her, she held my hand and she said, you know, you're allowed to be nervous, you're allowed to cry, it's completely fine, you're gonna be fine, I promise, blah blah blah. And you know, she did help make me feel better. So I didn't full on cry my eyes out, I just sort of got teary, trembling voice, but you know, I just coughed it. I just coughed it out, shook it out, and just carried on. And yeah, got to my second and last waiting room. So I'm really embarrassed to say this, but I can't even remember the last time I'd been in a waiting room without a mobile phone. So I had no idea what to do with myself. I was like, this is weird. I do remember that the building that I was in was very, very tall, and I was really, really high up. So I looked out the window and saw like a really cool view of my town that I hadn't seen before. So I just chilled at the window for a bit, you know, just looking at the nice view and trying to, you know, not let my head get the better of me. So I'm staring out the window, you know, trying to calm myself down. And I just remember this lady getting wheeled in who was also in a surgical gown, and she was really upset. And the nurse was, you know, rubbing her back, telling her, you know, it's going to be okay, it'll be fine. And I just remember making eye contact with her and giving her like a sympathetic smile. And once the nurse went, we actually got chatting, asked each other what our surgeries were about. This poor woman was having surgery for her breast cancer. So when she asked me what I was in for, what I was getting done, I actually felt kind of embarrassed. You know, there's this poor woman who has breast cancer and, you know, has to go for surgery against her will. And there's me volunteering to, you know, go under the knife to lose weight. So yeah, I did feel kind of shit when she asked me, but she was so lovely, and I think she even said that she knows a friend who had it done, so that instantly made me feel a lot better that it happened to be someone that was a bit more clued up on it as well. As we were talking, the nurse called me up to quickly go through the final checks, checked my wristband, made sure it was definitely me before going into theatre, and you know, just going through the final few little details. So that was done, sat back down for, I think it was all of 5 minutes before I got called up and said, right, okay, do you want to come through? It's time for you to, you know, go for surgery. So I got up, I waved goodbye to my new friend that I made in the waiting room, which I hope is feeling a lot better now. And yeah, there I was, walking to the theatre. I remember the nurse was trying to make some nice light conversation as we were walking, but I couldn't really concentrate. I just remembered thinking, okay, you can stop walking now, just turn around and go back, it's fine, you don't have to do it. but my legs did still keep walking, and I very, very much wanted to do it, as scared as I was. I remember being quite freaked out when I actually walked into the theatre. You know, everything was there that you'd expect to see. The big lights, the operating table, chair thing, loads of surgical equipment, and about 7 members of staff all looking at me with their masks on. The surgeon asked me to sit down, and he was gonna lower me into my chair, and while he was doing that, he asked me some questions such as, you know, where am I from, what are my hobbies, blah blah. And I just remember, like, out of my nerves when they asked me where I was from, and I said I'm only 10 minutes away, and they said, oh, you're local. I said, yeah, I'm very, very local. So yeah, I'm a fellow Lutonian girl, just like yourself. So yeah, pay special attention to me. It was a really stupid thing to say, but I was just so nervous. So they took my bloods, which was fine, so that was good. And the surgeon said to me, right, Louise, I'm going to explain everything I'm doing as I'm doing it right up until you go to sleep. So that was really comforting to hear. I can't remember what he said he was doing because I probably didn't understand what it was he was doing. You know, doctor's jargon and all that. But I remember as he was putting the needle in my arm, I kept trying to lift my head up because I was laying flat. And the nurse said to me, Louise, like, don't put your head up, just relax, please. And I was like, sorry. She goes, the surgeon's explaining what he's doing. We just need you to be still and nice and relaxed. I was like, sorry. And then like 2 minutes later, I'm back putting my head up, like trying to watch what he's doing. It's my way of dealing with fear, to be honest. It's like, I'm not keen on flying. I don't really like it at all. But I much prefer to sit on the window seat so I can sort of, you know, have a look and see what's going on and see if anything goes wrong. Not like I'd know, but it's just my way of coping with fear. So I think I did it like once more, but that was it. So they got this mask out and they asked me to breathe into it and that it was oxygen. Whether or not it was oxygen, I have no idea, but I did what they said. As I was breathing into the mask, one of the nurses said to me, where's your favourite place? And I said, oh, it's Fuerteventura. And I said, okay, so I want you to think of Fuerteventura and I want you to count to 10. And before you know it, you'll be floating away off there and you'll be waking up. I was like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, I did what they said. I didn't make it to 10. I don't think anyone makes it to 10, to be honest. I do remember the final moments up until knocking out. And that was just feeling, you know, really floaty and actually quite nice and relaxed. So that was nice. I woke up surrounded by like strange noises and sounds, wondering where the hell I was and just feeling really, really rough. One of the noises in the background was this woman. She was singing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? She sounded like proper high. And I felt crap. I felt like I had a massive headache. And when I opened my eyes, I just felt like it was really surreal. When I tried to make my first bit of movement, oh, it was very, very sore. It was very, very, very sore. And I remember just knocking back out again. When I woke up for a second time, the Doggy in the Window song was still going on in the background by some person, some lady. And then the voice started saying, where's Louise? Where's my friend Louise? Is she okay? It was actually the woman that I got speaking to in the waiting room. And she clocked that it was me, and judging by her face, I must have looked absolutely awful because she looked really concerned for me. The nurses asked me to sit up, and that was really, really hard. The way I'd describe the pain was like I've done God knows how many sit-ups, 1,000 sit-ups. It was like a constrictive, crampy, muscle sort of pain in my stomach. But yeah, and they gave me this tiny little, you know those little plastic medicine cups, size of shot glasses really. They gave me one of them full of water. And I was thinking, God, look at this tiny little thing. What's this? And I couldn't even take a sip. It was really difficult. Like, it was really sore. And I just really didn't want anything. And there was this lovely lady sitting next to me who was sitting up with her cup of tea and her lunch, and she was doing great. So that was nice. But yeah, I felt the complete opposite of that. I asked the nurse to give my boyfriend a call, let him know I was all right. And before I knew it, I was getting wheeled there and he was already sitting there. So that was really comforting. I knocked back out again, and I remember when I woke up, the pain had got a hell of a lot better. I didn't really feel it that much, apart from when I coughed or sneezed or laughed or, you know, moved. Basically, if I stayed still and didn't do anything, I was fine. But I remember when my family came to visit, my mum helped me go to the toilet. That seemed like such a mission. The toilet seat just felt so low. As I was getting lowered, I just felt, why is my bum not touching the seat yet? Because it was such a long, painful process. It just seemed to take forever. And once I did go to the toilet, I didn't even want to get back up. I was quite happy to sit there all day. My surgeon came in to see me and see how I was doing. And after thanking him for everything he's done, I thought I'd take the opportunity to ask him how my liver was. You know, I was on a pre-op diet for 5 weeks. It was really hard. I really struggled with it. So I assumed my liver was looking great. Believe it or not, he said like it wasn't the best he'd seen. He was like, yeah, your liver was okay. I was like, okay? I was on a diet, pre-op diet for 5 weeks. He was like, well, you know, I have to be honest, it wasn't the biggest I've seen, but it wasn't the smallest either. But the main thing is that it was, you know, good enough for surgery. I was like, oh, I'm quite surprised by that, to be honest. But as long as it was good enough for surgery, that's the main thing.
Hi guys, I'm out. I'm not in too much pain at the moment. I was when I first woke up, so I had like 3 rounds of morphine. I feel quite similar to how Jennifer felt when she first got sleeve. She doesn't feel like she's been sleeved. I don't feel like I've been sleeved. My tummy, my actual organ, don't hurt at all. But reading all your messages has been like overwhelming. Thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. It really helped. So I'm going to do some of those stories again because I'm way too quiet. The first one I said was my operation was at 1:30 and I was in recovery for about 2 hours. I was in recovery for 2 hours because I was in so much pain when I woke up, like excruciating pain, but I was so out of it. And I even struggled to tell the nurse I was in pain because I just felt so drugged up. I think the hardest part for me was the actual waiting. The waiting room was unbearably hot. I was sleep deprived, water deprived, and it was just contributing to me feeling really anxiously faint. But I just took a big glug of water, forgetting that I'm supposed to sip. Oh, watch this space. It wasn't too much of a big glug. Hopefully I should be alright. Scary. One thing I was shocked at was when I asked my surgeon how was my liver, and he just said okay. He said it wasn't the smallest I've seen, but it wasn't the biggest. I was like, when they did call me up, I really didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go in. Like, when they separated me from my boyfriend, I started crying. It was so emotional. But yeah, I am okay now. Just as long as I'm not moving. When I move and when I cough, especially when I cough, it's terrifying because it hurts so much. Apart from that, I'm doing good. I've been a lucky girl today. I've had my cousin, her boyfriend, my mum and dad visiting me, and of course my boyfriend's been with me the whole day.
My first night was memorable. I barely got any sleep. I think it was a mixture between the machines kept bibbing, being in a scary, you know, new environment, and also I like to sleep on my belly and my side, and because of the pain I could only sleep on my back, so I found that really difficult. I've definitely got under an hour. In the middle of the night, I needed to go to the toilet. So I asked the nurse if she could take me. And as she was sorting my drip so I could take it to the toilet with me, she'd accidentally knocked it. I had no idea she'd knocked it. I didn't feel a thing. It wasn't until my leg started feeling really wet, my leg and my arm, I looked down and blood is just gushing from this tube. And me being in my very tired and high state, looked at it and was like, nurse, is this supposed to be happening? And she looked really, really concerned. She called the other nurse. I think she called another 2 nurses. And what was funny was that they were all panicking around me, trying to connect me back up, all while trying to be quiet so not to wake the other ladies in the ward up. I feel really sorry for anyone who caught a sight of me going down the corridor. I must have looked like a zombie, because there I was, walking to the toilet really slow with blood all over my stockings, my gown and my arm. The next day I felt rough as anything. I remember I really just wanted to go home, you know, to my own bed, to my own comforts, and, you know, be with my family. And they were quite happy with how I was doing, but they didn't want to let me go until I finished the fluids that they gave me, because they took me off the IV drip thing. I had to hydrate myself all by myself by, you know, drinking. I found it really, really hard. I was amazed at how my body just could no longer tolerate it. You know, I just didn't want it. It was a struggle. It kind of hurt to have as well. I do remember really craving an ice lolly because the hospital was really hot. And when you have an ice lolly, you know, liquid tends to go down a lot easier. I really wanted one. I asked the hospital if they had any, but they didn't. But I would have been allowed one, so that's a little tip from me. If you can get hold of an ice lolly, you might appreciate that the day after surgery. So that was it. I managed to drink some of my fluids. I didn't drink quite all of them, but I drank enough. The pain was a lot better, and they were quite happy to send me home. I had to go to the waiting room to wait for my partner and my dad. Got given a big bag of medication to take for the rest of the couple of weeks or whatever it was, and got sent home. So that was my experience going for the surgery. I mean, it was pretty good. I had 0 complications, I had 0 gas pain, and I was only in for 1 night. Would I do it again? 1,000 times yes. It may have been the scariest thing I've ever had to do, but it's without doubt the best thing I could have ever done for myself. And when I think about it, the scariest part was all me in that bloody waiting room, just getting in my own head. The staff at the L&D hospital were absolutely amazing, from the hard work of the nurses who did all they could to comfort me, whether that was holding my hand or making me laugh, you know, to looking after me. And the surgeon is obviously, you know, great. He's done amazing. So if you're going to L&D hospital for any surgery really, you're definitely in the right hands. They are really good at what they do. If you're considering weight loss surgery, if you're about to have weight loss surgery, or if, you know, you just have any questions in general, please feel free to do so and just drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. You can also follow me on my weight loss account if you wanted to see my progress, or even message me privately. It is at Gs_sleeve_Louise. And just thank you so much for watching. I know it's been quite a long video, but I do hope that it's helped anyone with their pre-surgery nerves, because I know that I had a hell of a lot before mine. My next video is actually going to be about the following 2 weeks after surgery, including all the medication I had to take, the fluids that I had, and just how I was feeling and healing generally. If my channel is of interest to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll get notified of my future videos. And thank you for watching once again, and I really look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye!